Hey friends, Ash here. Welcome back to Gents. Hope that you're doing well. I was gonna start this off with some kind of stupid TikTok hook like, these fragrances make her fold faster than an origami convention. But yeah, let's not do that. But if you do happen to find yourself in that most unholy of realms TikTok, throw me a pity follow, at Gents. I'm posting there regularly, for real. I think. Back to the order of the day though, no! They weren't supposed to go that far. Back to the order of the day. Today we're talking about fragrances that will get you the C word. Not committed to an insane asylum, that's not what I meant. Compliments, that's what I meant. All of these linked in the description below. Let's begin. I want to start at the cheap end of the pool, the zero entry. You know, where you just walk right in, you don't have to jump, you know, it's super easy, anybody can do it. That's what we're talking about, just in terms of how much you have to spend. Under 20 bucks. The fragrance, Just As Rock by Fragrance World. And you can tell this one's gonna be a good clone right off the rip because they're cloning the Lattafa Assad bottle. That means they take their craft seriously. Now this doesn't smell like Assad, you can tell because it's blue and not black. But they do have one that is black, and that one is a clone of Assad. Or a Sauvage Elixir, I mean. This one is a clone of Invictus Victory Elixir by Paco Rabanne. But not just that fragrance, it has a little twist to it. Yeah, a little twist-a-rooney. This one has some added pineapple off the top. So it's gonna give you a fresher opening with that tropical sort of sweetness leading into that big blast of vanilla that Invictus Victory Elixir gives you. For 20 bucks, this stuff smells fantastic. And mine has been aging gracefully and now smells even better than when I first got it in. You guys know, you know, if you know, you know. But realistically, there's gonna be at least one person who watches this and goes, I don't know. With cheap clone fragrances, a lot of time you get them in, you spray them the first time, and they're not as good as you might expect. But then what you do, you just let it sit. Sometimes a week or two, sometimes even longer, they say. Come back to it. Smells much better. There are many immature jokes about it, but we'll just leave it there. Maturation, that's actually what it is, letting the fragrance mature, not macerate. That's a different thing, but who cares? Just As Rock. We are starting off just great. Not a dumpster fire at all. Fragrance 2, enter the arena. Polo 67, Eau de Parfum. Getting better at that, didn't even look at it, just kind of tracked it, peripheral vision. Put me in a batting cage with pitching machines throwing 60. You don't understand, in my local softball league, I'm a champion. So Polo 67 Eau de Parfum. This one right here, absolutely killer. Spring, summer, fall, great daytime fragrance, good office fragrance. Opening sweet and fresh, a little bit deeper than the Eau de Toilette, which you would expect. Citrus and pineapple smelling fantastic off the rip, fresh, little bit syrupy and sweet. A nice aromatic zing to the opening as well as it dries down, clean woods in there, masculine, modern. This is one of those everyday wear sort of fragrances, just that type of scent that you add to your collection because you're like, well, I mean, I can use it whenever I want. And then as time goes, you end up wearing it more, and then more, and then more, and then before you know it, you're reaching for this stuff like half the time you're wearing something. Also, the compliments don't hurt. Which one next? Okay, let's go with something that is definitely fall, wintertime centered, really sweet, deep, rich, a little bit resinous, has this great opulent feel to it. You have to like vanilla, and I mean vanilla, like a deep vanilla with incense, bits of smoke, but the stuff is amazing, especially for the price point. Mercedes-Benz Club Black. This is one of those fragrances where if you're not familiar with Mercedes-Benz fragrance game, you'll be surprised. And then you'll have to write an apology letter to Mercedes-Benz and tell them, I'm sorry, I wasn't familiar with your game. But now I am, and I respect it. And it's a weird time for car brands in the fragrance world. Mercedes-Benz at this point, kind of right there at the top for most people. Also Bentley, right there as well. But then past that, man, it's kind of a graveyard. There are some Porsche fragrances, Porsche design. Most of those kind of suck. Lamborghini, Maserati, trash fragrances. Ferrari used to have really good ones, but then they discontinued all of them. And here recently, BMW, or is it BMW, has announced new fragrances as well. M fragrances. So we'll see how those Beamer fragrances are when they come out, but for now, Mercedes-Benz pretty much at the top of the car fragrance mountain. Like, legitimately, this stuff slaps. The next fragrance is easily one of the best fall fragrances, period. Not even talking compliments, just period. But before we get to that one, let's get to some codes while I clean up these tester strips that I have thrown all over the room. So here those codes are. We've got codes for Gift Express, JOMASHOP. Of course, the JOMASHOP ones only work within the app, Fragflex, the perfume box, and many, many more. So take a gander at these stores, take a gander at their wares, and when you want to shop at those stores, use those codes. All right, the next fragrance, like I said, one of the best, period. Scandal Absolute. That's real good, yeah. This stuff is fantastic. It has Mirabelle Plum off the top. Really, really sexy opening. Ooh. It is what I like to call kind of a neo-gourmand, leaning in the gourmand direction. It's got this great chestnut note in there mixing together with that plum as it dries down. Sandalwood also has kind of a caramel aspect to it as well. Great performance, stuff sticks around forever. Huge attention grabber. And I've spoken about this a bunch of times, but the Scandal line sometimes gets overlooked because you can go back to the original Scandal, Scandal Le Parfum, and this one, and they are all absolutely killer as far as getting positive attention. But a lot of times people will put like the Most Wanted, Stronger With You, like up here on a pedestal, and then Scandal kind of down here. But in reality, it's right up there with the others. Let's go with this funky looking bottle up next. Itcon Noir. This is by Zamaya. Itcon. Price on this one is gonna run you about 30 bucks from most discounters, so really affordable. It is a clone fragrance, of course, and it is a clone of YSL's Myself, which by the way also would fit right in here. And you can tell just when you look at the note breakdown, because the note breakdown is pretty much identical between the two. So it's one of those deals where they didn't really bother to hide it too much. I mean, the bottle, I guess, is decently different, right? But the note breakdown gives it away. Extremely fresh, clean, classy, even a little bit elegant as well. Bergamot off the top, orange blossom as it dries down, along with amber fix in the base. And technically, patchouli, although not really too much of that. This one just is what it is. Easy wearing, clean, effortless, big compliment puller, and year round in terms of when you would rock with this one. For 30 bucks, can't really go wrong. Just, you know, jack of all trades kind of scent, or Swiss Army knife, whatever you want to call it. The next one is from Gisada, and it is Ambassador Intense. And it comes with a magnetic cap. A decent one too. Ooh. Any of these others? Oh, this is the only one. Losers. All of these losers except for this one. Magnetic cap. That's the difference maker. Meet a new girl, go on a date, you know, have a new job, whatever. They're gonna be like, oh, what fragrance are you wearing? And you tell them, oh yeah, it's this. And they go, oh, it smells fantastic. And then it's gonna get real serious, real silent. They're gonna stare at you through your soul. And they're gonna go, does that one come with the magnetic cap? And if it doesn't, you're fired, or no second date, or if you're married, now you're divorced. It is that serious. Ambassador Intense right here. This one is gonna remind you a little of the spice canon known as Sauvage Elixir. But of course, with a twist. This one, sweeter off the top, as more of a fruity, lightly syrupy kind of sweetness when you first spray it on, mixing together with that Sauvage Elixir styling. So it's gonna switch things up a little bit, and some people are going to prefer that added sweetness, that emphasis on the fruit off the top that Sauvage Elixir doesn't really come with. Other people, of course, are gonna prefer the original Sauvage Elixir and like more of that masculine, woody, spicy combo from the opening into the dry down that one rocks with. Either way though, if we're talking about a fragrance that gets you noticed, that gets you attention, this one does, so does Sauvage Elixir. This next bottle stands out quite a bit against everything else in today's list, and that is because it has mangoes all over it. Odyssey Go Mango, Eau de Parfum by Armaf. This is part of the Tropical Collection. There isn't actually a Tropical Collection. They just put like a different thing at the end of every one of these Odyssey fragrances. It's almost like a meme at this point. So as you can see, little mangoes all around the bottle, which are actually just cutouts inside of this like pleather sleeve that the bottle sits inside of. You can actually take the bottle completely out, but it is kind of mango colored, so I guess that still counts, right? Now guys, get ready to have those boobs blown straight off your chest. This one is a clone Stick with me now. I've got a fire. What? Yeah, that's right. It's insane. There aren't any of, oh wait, oh, yeah. Oh yeah, there's a load of those. Yeah, it's got a fire. Yeah, Armoff basically was like, oh, we gotta get in on that. And they did. Oh my God, that's strong. Oh! When you first spray this on, it is indeed go mango. There is a lot. It's sugary, like a sugary blast of mango with a little sour aspect as well. You know, a little Sour Patch Kids action going on. First it's sour, then it's sweet. Also have ginger and pink pepper in there off the top, so that's really gonna help with that fizzy kind of like zingy opening that it has. As it dries down, vanilla, tonka, woodiness. So you're gonna have more of that sweetness kind of carry over into the dry down and just kind of changes flavors a little bit. So yet another take on that God of Fire DNA. This one obviously with more of an emphasis on that mango and more of a, like I said, sour, sweet balance with sugar over top off the opening. And then as it dries down, that woodiness with additional sweets. But one thing that is for sure when it comes to like God of Fire style fragrances, people love them, which is why there are like 24 of them at this point, yeah. When something works well, you best believe you're about to see an avalanche of that style of fragrance coming your way. Which is really, I guess, how you can tell if something has been super successful. If you see clone after clone after clone coming, it did a good job. All right, let's get mad expensive on the next one. At least as far as designer fragrances go, it is Y Elixir. Yes, I did watch that one into the hand, yeah. I was taking an awkward angle, I wasn't for sure. So when Y Elixir first came out, this stuff was priced right alongside Sauvage Elixir, which makes sense. But there were some issues with this one where maybe that price didn't match up quite as well. Now, it's not that this smells bad, obviously, or else it wouldn't be in today's list. It's that when you smelled Sauvage Elixir against, say, Sauvage Eau de Parfum, totally different. Sauvage Elixir was doing its own thing, and it smelled elevated. When you smell Y Elixir against Y Eau de Parfum, they're pretty close. So it's one of those deals where you go, oh, okay, yeah, Y Elixir, this smells good. Yeah, it's a little classier. It's not quite as sweet, not as heavy-handed with it as Y Eau de Parfum. It sticks around on the skin a decent amount of time. A little more elegant, a little more dressed up, slightly more aromatic. Yeah, it's nice. So it's priced what, about the same as Y Eau de Parfum? Oh, it's way more expensive, like a lot. Yeah, that's okay. No thanks. That's kind of how it went. But as has happened since the beginning of mankind, as time has gone on, this has hit discounters and the price has gone which means if you want to pick it up now, you can pick it up for instead of much nicer. That other one, oof. And if we're talking compliments, positive attention, Y Elixir crushes, which to be fair, most of the Y line does. And with this one giving you that added, slightly cleaner, more elegant vibe compared to Y Eau de Parfum with a slightly reined in sweetness, this stuff can work pretty much year round, especially as a nice evening scent. All right, we're gonna throw one out now that's been out for a while. It's not even close to being the most popular fragrance in its own line, like not at all, but it still works really well. People love the scent profile, pretty affordable, and if you're after a versatile, compliment pulling scent, you could do a lot worse. It is Azzaro Wanted, the original. So you do get a lot of bang for your buck here. It is loud, it is strong, it projects, it lasts a very long time. So for a lot of people, that is a massive boost. Now, to be fair, for some people, it's gonna be too strong for them. You know, they're not gonna like it, a little heavy-handed. But a lot of people are after big time performance in their fragrance nowadays. This one has that. It's also usable year-round, daytime or nighttime, either one. The fragrance itself, ultra appealing, people love it. Lemon, ginger, lavender off the top as it dries down. Apple, cardamom, juniper, amberwood, tonka, and vetiver. When it came out, it caught a lot of flack for being inspired by Paco Rabanne's Invictus. And you can get some of that Invictus styling here. If you're really familiar with that fragrance and you smell this one, you'll be like, okay, yeah, there's some similarities here. But this one is not quite as bubblegummy sweet as Invictus is. So that's reined in a little bit. It has slightly more of an aromatic scent profile to it, which really helps it along with that versatility. So even though Wanted at this point, completely overshadowed by the Most Wanted Parfum, maybe even to an extent Wanted by Night, still works. And the grand finale fragrance, or really just the last fragrance in the list, is this one, 1 Million Elixir by Rabanne. Kind of back where we started. We started with really sweet vanilla. We end with really sweet vanilla. But it makes sense because that is something that people almost universally love. You also have in here rose, apple, a bit of tonka, among other notes. And even though it is really sugary sweet, absolutely, off the top and into the dry down, it has enough going on to help balance that out a little bit. It has a creamy scent profile as it dries down. It does come across a little classier, sexier than you might expect, but it is loud. It's another one that just kind of screams, gets noticed. Great evening fragrance, solid fall and wintertime scent, even a good date night fragrance, but I would maybe think about where I'm going, what I'm doing, when I spray this one on. Because if you're going on a date, yeah, like I said, it can work, but depending on where you're going, what you're doing, you may not want to go crazy heavy. If you're out to dinner and the only thing that she can smell and taste is your fragrance, you sprayed too much. So there we go. There are 10 different scents that will serve you well in battle. Or just, you know, whenever you wear them. Yeah, probably just that. If you're here until the end, thank you for hanging with me this long. Stay safe out there, take care of yourselves. See you tomorrow with another fragrance video. See you guys.